I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Got my capability statement and I'm ready to go. Got my balance sheet, my P. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, the small business paramedic. And today we're going to have a great show, Crystal.
Aren't we? We definitely are. We again are going, we're going to get George on this show eventually. And so today is the day.
The day is the day.
The day is the day. We had some technical difficulties a couple weeks ago, but he is here in Los Angeles. So the technical difficulties will be minor. So he'll be calling in about 30 minutes. So I'm excited.
Excellent.
Because this is the conversations that we need to be having on how we can create and close that wealth gap in our communities.
And we certainly
important.
need that, Crystal. Certainly need that.
We definitely do. It's been a pretty interesting week, man. You wake up in the morning and you go, "Oh my, okay, let's check Facebook. Let's check the news. What's going to happen today? What's going to happen?" So I think this week there were 19 executive orders that were signed this week from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum.
That is
you
crazy.
Can't even keep up. It's just insane. It's just really, really insane.
That is crazy. This guy is executive order crazy.
He is. And at one point, I think I read that he was upset with Obama when he was doing that. And now it's like on and cracking, I guess. But it was interesting. But here's the thing. So today I'm wearing my pink because I'm in solidarity for our female population.
I hear that.
1.3 million women came together last Saturday to protest the insanity that's going on all the way across the country.
That was phenomenal.
All Antarctica.
That was phenomenal. Germany, England,
everywhere.
It was phenomenal.
They came out and stepped down into however deep snow in Alaska. So, and I've always said that when things need to get done, female, it's going to be the woman that's going to do it. Because, when we really look at it, I look at it this way. It's about our children. And so if we don't make sure that our kids are protected in this world and that there is a world left for them as they're growing up, then we failed.
That's true.
I mean, we as adults, we can figure out whatever we're going to do, but our children are completely dependent on us. So that's my biggest issue with what's going on. And I got a couple of major concerns. One of my things is, and this has been a big beef with me, is that when those that are saying they're pro-life talk about that, we never go beyond the birth.
Right.
Because when you look in the realities and when you drive up our streets in Los Angeles and you see people, whole families living on the street, so how can we be so concerned about them getting here, but once they get here, we don't want to feed or clothe or maintain or take care of them or provide an education for them so that they can grow up healthy and safe.
That is crazy.
So you're not pro-life when you're talking that if you're not taking care of the other end. So
it's only conditional.
It's conditional, right? So when that executive order was signed about Planned Parenthood, which is that's not the only thing that they do, but they do protect women and especially women, low-income women. And
college kids.
College and so forth. And before people had health insurance, they actually could go to Planned Parenthood for their female health care. And that's very, very important. So when you talk about that and you talk about eliminating that on one order, and then you turn around and say, I'm going to get rid of the health care. I'm going to get rid of food stamp programs. I'm going to get rid of all social services programs. Then why do you want them here? What is the point of them coming here to die slow?
They're just speaking out of both sides of their mouth. They don't know what they're talking about.
Right. So that's my biggest issue. And it was finally someone yesterday, it was a nun, that finally came out and said, no, you're not pro-life, you're pro-birth. Yeah. That's different. Yeah. And she said the exact same thing. So it's finally someone was stating the realities, the obvious, right? Yes. And that's very important. So so that was one of the big ones. Then the other one is the people that can't tell the difference between Obamacare and affordable health care. That was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. What else did he sign for? You can't call into Washington to the White House. He's banned that.
That is so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. You know, I see this guy getting impeached real soon.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to last 4 years.
Well, I would hope not, because I tell you, it's going to be. Yesterday, it got to a point where I just had a headache, because every time I turn on, it's just because these are things. My biggest thing is always when you make a big show about something, there's something you're doing behind the scenes. That's always been my thing. So what the heck are you trying to do behind the scenes that you want us so distracted? Or the fact that he is truly a nutcase and he is in control of that little button that could take us all to nuclear war. That's a scary thing.
Whatever he's up to, it's going to come out in the light.
It's going to come out, yeah.
So it's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time. So those of us in business, you got that going on. You're trying to move forward with all your plans, and then you don't know what the heck is going to happen on that other side of that cliff, man.
And everything that he says and does affect business.
Everything affects business.
It affects business.
Everything.
Because whether it's the health care, that's going to affect our employees or our consultants that we work with. Whether it's, trying to do that border immigration thing that he's talking about, 20% tax. That 20% tax is going to affect us too, because then the price of everything else is going to go up over here.
Right, exactly.
So I just don't get this guy.
And some of them, who is it? One of the... what is her name? Joy. Is her name Joy? I think she was talking about it this morning and she was saying, so Mexico does a lot of importing from here as well. So car parts that we have go to their country to help them. We're a neighboring country. And just like Canada, we're a neighboring country. So therefore, we're there to work with each other. So if you're pulling out of NAFTA, then what are we talking about? So everything, you're hurting us on every level.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's but some of his supporters are realizing that he's all about himself and he's all about.
Slowly but surely they're getting it, because at first they were just about, we need an outsider. Now they got the outsider and see that the outsider is a nutcase, and then they're realizing a lot of the things that he's trying to put a stranglehold on is affecting them also.
Exactly.
So now they're looking at it differently, because I've heard, like you mentioned earlier, about the difference between Obamacare and Affordable Care Act. Now I'm hearing a lot of them realizing that, hey, I may lose my insurance.
Right, exactly. So now it's like, oh, wait a minute, my children going to be taken. Yeah. Wait, I have now they're seeing what that really meant. But because my girlfriend, I was talking to her yesterday, and she kept saying, how did we get here? I don't understand. Yeah. I said, we got here because those people, and I'm not a reality TV person, never have been. Yeah. And I said, because reality TV took over, and they made him a celebrity. Yeah. And that celebrityness is what got him in there. Oh, yeah. But I said, from where I sit, someone that coaches business owners, there is nothing. He is not a good businessman. No. Because I don't know, you've been out there with big corporations. How many of you know that just file bankruptcy for the heck of not paying their vendors?
And lose $980 million.
Exactly. Can you imagine what that would look like for one of our small businesses?
It's ridiculous, man.
To lose that kind of money. They'd be out of business.
Shareholders will burn them alive.
They would not get loans. Yeah. None of that. And then you have people suing you. So that's what I told her. I said, it's because people don't understand business. Because that's not an acumen of a successful businessman.
That's not a good quality of a good business person. So it's just ridiculous.
It really, really, truly is ridiculous. So that was kind of rough this week. Hey, Candace, welcome. That was a lot this week.
Yeah,
that was a lot.
That was a lot. And then the pipeline. We haven't even talked about the pipeline.
Yeah, the pipeline. That's an issue.
Is okaying the pipeline to be installed and erected, and that's because he has investments in that.
Right. Exactly.
He's investing in one of those companies, which is again conflict of interest.
Right. Exactly.
And with that, with him approving that, now it's affecting the lifestyle of the Indians in that area, the Native Americans, and which is ridiculous.
I know.
So then we have all these treaties. The U.S. has signed over 400 treaties with the Native Americans, and not one of them they've kept. Not one.
Right. Exactly.
Which is awful.
I know.
That is atrocious.
But, they feel that everybody should go back to their own country.
Yeah.
But the Native Indians were here first.
Yeah.
So where are they going to go?
Yeah.
This is their country. Everybody else is an immigrant, with the exception of us.
It is so crazy.
We were stolen. So we're not even an immigrant. We were stolen and kidnapped.
Brought you against our own will.
Against our will, because we would have stayed in Africa.
That's right.
So all the immigrants really is everybody. And what's the other amazing thing is that Trump talks about immigrants, but all three of his wives.
He and his wife.
Yeah,
His family, I think, is from Germany or something like that. So
and his wife actually didn't get her citizenship until after they had been married, which means she had been working in this country illegally.
Yeah.
And so it's not, don't do as I do as I say. I guess that's the kind of way that's supposed to work.
That is crazy.
So it's just a lot. Were you in, so tell me, did you go to Vegas this week?
Oh, no, I went to Vegas last week.
Okay.
Last week, yes. I went to Vegas last week. And I've got good news.
Okay.
So I finally signed that agreement with the folks in Vegas. So it's official now. So we're going to have our first workshop. We're going to do our first workshop for them on February 23rd.
Oh, okay.
And then the second one is going to be March 9th, and then every other week.
Oh, good. Fantastic. Well, congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
That's good
So
stuff.
we have that, and then once we get this one out of the way, then I want to restructure the schedule. And I want to focus some more on the financial piece.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited about that.
Well,
very
congratulations.
Excited.
I'm glad that it all worked out. So that's a good thing.
Oh, yes. So that was good. And yesterday, I did a workshop for Edison in Camarillo.
Oh, okay.
With the veterans.
Oh, okay.
The elite veterans. So that was a good workshop as well. And participants, they really loved it. Mm-hmm. So things are moving along. And this coming Monday, the 30th, we've got a workshop for the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be with the Black Chamber of Commerce of Inland Empire.
Oh, cool.
So we're doing a capability statement workshop. So things are looking up.
Well, good. Things are looking up. Well, I'm in tax season.
Tax season, that's what I was going to say.
I'm up under it right now.
I was going to call you earlier today, and I said, she's probably working on her tax thing, so I'll leave her alone.
I'll see, Monday, Tuesday, I work to 2. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I worked to 2. And then yesterday, I had some other things, some errands that I had to take care of. And then I did a little bit of work last night. And this morning, I just pretty much spent on this. So, yeah, then tonight I'll be back into it. So, because, 1099s I do by next Tuesday. Yeah. So, and I had to go to a couple clients and actually do those.
But see, the thing with the 1099, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a challenge right here. The 1099, because I was checking this out, because, I got to issue 1099s too. Mm-hmm. But they're saying that you should have requested this from the IRS like 21 to 30 days ago, because they're going to have to mail it to you, or you're going to have to go to an IRS center to pick it up.
Oh, you need forms. Is that what you needed? Oh, you should have called me.
So send it out. Really?
Yeah, I always buy forms because I have to go do them for my clients. So I got I had to buy a pack of 50.
You have extra ones?
I have a whole pack.
Okay, so
I got like 4 or 5 of. I got about 6 of them.
Oh, good.
I got about 7 to do. But yeah, I'll give them to you. You follow me after the show, then I'll make sure I'll just bring some down to you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I always have them.
So you prepare those too?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't I just pay you?
Well, yes, send me the information over and I'll
I'll just do that.
Okay. Then.
See, my co-host does all this wonderful stuff. And
yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. So, and usually when I buy it, because I'm never sure who I'm going to have to do because they never call me in advance. So I just buy the big pack.
That's great.
And then I just send them, and then I just use what I use, and then the other one. Then
I'll send you the information.
Okay.
I have about 4 or 5 consultants.
Okay, that'll be fine. I have plenty.
All right.
Yeah, just send me over the information.
All right.
Look at that.
You just solved the problem.
Problem solved.
And you know what? We need to get the word out because there's still a lot of consultants like myself out there that they need access to it and they don't even know where to go.
Right, and I actually did an ad on Facebook a couple months. Well, I started an ad in November, December, and I got nobody bit.
Yeah?
Nobody
Do
bit.
it again today on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of people out there like myself that they're scrambling. And plus, some of them don't realize that the 31st is a deadline.
Right, exactly. And they did make a change. So the transmittal used to, you could send that out a month later.
Yeah.
Now they
in
want
February.
them all on March.
Yeah.
The January 31st is the deadline for both of them.
Right.
So you don't even have that little leeway in between that.
Right,
so
right.
yeah, so that was a change. Yeah,
That's great.
It's one of the services that I provide is 1099s.
So folks, you hear that? Crystal provides 1099 services. So if you need to have your 1099 process, you only have until Tuesday.
Only have until Tuesday.
Tuesday the 31st. So you want to go ahead and give us a call on the show right now. Get Crystal's information so she can prepare it for you. And or otherwise, you may have to pay some stiff penalties to the IRS.
There are some penalties for not doing your 1099s and your W-2s and all that sort of stuff. I don't really do the W-2s because most people should have a payroll service and not trying to do their payroll themselves.
Exactly.
That's crazy. But I do the 1099s. That's a lot easier because, you know.
We're going to have to big you up some more on this show. So they know what you do.
I know, huh? The things that Crystal does. But yeah, no, I've been doing this for a long time. Hey, Mike Payne, how are you? And Kristen, how are you? What is it? I didn't really. Other than that, I am going to. I'm going to the Motown Review. I won tickets.
Yes. When is that?
That's next. That's Wednesday, the 31st. Oh no,
the Tuesday, the 31st.
Tuesday, the 31st.
Oh, okay.
So I got tickets from when I went
That's
to.
great.
I know Larita's program when she had her event. I won tickets because I signed up.
Oh,
Excuse
man,
me.
that's good. Bless you.
For her class. And what else am I doing? This weekend I'm going to George Fraser, who's going to be our guest. He's going. He's got an event called the Emancipation Tour. Mm-hmm. So I'll be there. Hold on one second.
That's great. That is great.
And anything else going on? Oh, guess what?
What?
Because you know Zumba is my relaxation stuff, right? Yeah. In February, we're going to be dancing halftime.
Yeah? Where?
At the Gilbert game.
Get out. Really?
Yeah.
So when in February?
February 15th.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go to that game.
So all of us are going to be there. So tonight I go in and I do a rehearsal. Water? Yeah. Yeah, water would be good. I do rehearsal tonight, and then we go and do rehearsal on Sunday afternoon. Isn't that kind of fun?
That is beautiful. How many people are going to be? How many women are going to be?
Well, when I looked, they did it in March. And when I looked, there's a whole court.
Yeah?
Full court.
Oh, yeah?
So everybody, not just our Zumba. Thank you. Not just our Zumba class,
Felicia.
but Zumba class across the Los Angeles.
That's great. Mm-hmm. How do you get hooked up in that? You got a connection.
My Zumba class.
You got a connection,
Ronnie, she calls herself Zumba Ronnie on Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
And she's cool. Zumba class is a lot of fun.
Thank you, Felicia.
She does all kinds of, say like for February, because it's Mardi Gras. Mm-hmm. So she'll bring in the Mardi Gras, the Fat Tuesday parade people, and we'll do Mardi Gras, and we'll dress in the purples and the greens and the yellows. Mm-hmm. We do, for 4th of July, we dress up in red, white, and blue. Memorial Day, we do the same thing. Breast Cancer Month in October, we're all in pink. So it's always a theme.
That is great.
She's really, really talented. She keeps the class fun and exciting. And in between that, we have little Black Dress Day. We go out to a club and just hang out, practicing our in-club Zumba moves.
That is great.
So that's going to be fun. And
for sure.
Yeah.
In front of all those thousands of people.
Right, exactly. Doing our Zumba.
Yeah. That's great.
So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And so you got to have a little fun in between all the hard work.
So the sisters are going to be there?
Yeah, we're going to have, it's a like I said, it's a smorgasbord of women that are all, or men. I think there was a couple of men there because there was a couple of men instructors out there.
That's good.
Yeah, that just love the dance of Zumba.
I feel proud more and more of you every day.
Multifaceted.
You're multifaceted, definitely.
Well, you have to, for sure. Right now, I have to have something that I can decompress. Because business is one thing, but then when you have all this other distraction going on the outside of that, really that can, because when we think about what transpired in 2009 with the recession, that was pretty darn bad. Mm-hmm. And that we finally have gotten to a place that we can breathe. Yeah. And the mere thought that you could get back there, that's some scary stuff, because it took a lot of sacrifices and thinking, oh, my Lord, am I going to ever get out of this? The people that lost their homes and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. That was devastating for a lot of people.
Programs are put in place to protect people from, sharks like those. And then this guy's reintroducing those same sharks into the system. Right. It's unbelievable.
And I guess that's why hey, Elroy, I guess that's why certain people are kind of like stuck because traumatically, they're going back to, oh, my God, that was horrible. I don't ever want to live like that again. Yeah. And some of the people that are living out on the street is because of that. Yeah. Because they lost their homes and just trying to get back on their feet.
See, right now, I'm feeling upset with a lot of those Democrats, too, because they're supporting a lot of these guys. Yeah. You're not supposed to support them.
You're not supposed to support them.
It doesn't matter if you have the votes or not. Don't support them.
Right. And even our media. Yeah. I mean, a lot of that was they had a responsibility. Now they're stepping up, but we didn't have to get here if everybody had been engaged. Mm-hmm. And then for our own particular communities, that's why it's so important that we all start working together. Yeah. Because you can't, hey, Barbara, you can't create division if everybody's on the same page. That's right. But we have to get to that. And so when you look at the bigger picture of it, maybe that is what's going to happen. We're going to unite. Because I will say, last Saturday, when the women came together, it's like, wow, how amazing was that? Just, here in Los Angeles alone, 750,000 women came together.
Metro made a lot of money that day.
They made a lot of money. And here's the thing. That wasn't publicized on Facebook.
It was
not. So that was a word of mouth.
It was not, yeah.
And I don't know, because they use no social media. Yeah. So that was like the people getting on the phone. But they were able to galvanize 750,000 women right here in Los Angeles.
We got to take a page out of that book, Crystal.
I know.
Do some galvanizing with these small businesses.
So that's what when I was talking to this morning, I had a conversation with Sharon Evans, and I was like, that's why we have to work together. Mm-hmm. That's why. So if everybody utilized their resources like that, then we can really make some major inroads. And then when you talk about the African American community and we working together in a collaborative state of mind, wow, that's some power.
Because if we don't, all those little people on the outskirts who are trying to move in, they're going to try to, occupy our territory.
Exactly.
Can't have that.
We can't have that. And we have to protect this country for our children. Yeah. I mean, I don't have kids, but I have nephews, and they're, just starting their lives. They there's got to be a position where they can buy a home, they can get a decent job, they can start their families. Mm-hmm. I have friends with kids. Mm-hmm. For me, that's what this is about, is I wouldn't be doing entrepreneurial training or any of that if I didn't believe our children deserve that.
Right.
Because we got that when we were kids. And I had, to be where I am today is because someone was my mentor, and they groomed me to come to be where I am, and to develop the skill sets that I have. And the same thing with you.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what's important. We have to create a different place for our children to live in.
We got to do that. Definitely got to do that.
Right.
And just by what we do and the way we do it, it's like we just got to keep doing it. And just keep helping, one entrepreneur at a time.
Right.
One entrepreneur at a time, because each one that we help, it's going to trickle down to their family and their kids and all of that.
Right. Yeah, it's one, and it doesn't change. One village, what is it? A village. It takes a village to raise a child. Yeah. It takes a village to raise all of us, to protect all of us, and to create a better place for us and for our families, and a place where we can make money. I mean, when you are in a position where you can be productive, then you're a healthy individual. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about today with George, is creating wealth in our community. So the things that we see in our communities like Chicago, that wouldn't be happening if there were jobs and opportunities and money where they can pay their bills. When you take all that away, you create desperation.
That's true. That is true.
And then people lash out because they're angry, because they're frustrated. They have no way. How do I change this situation?
It's like hopelessness.
It's hopelessness.
When there's no way, it seems as if there's no opportunity, no way to move on to better grounds. Then people become frustrated, they become hopeless, and then bad things happen. So that's one of the passions I have for doing what I do, is because I think it's a way of providing people with hope when you can run your own business. And I think that's more so even when you're a worker. But when you're a worker, that feels great that you can provide well-being for your family. But to create your own business, that's a whole nother kind of level of accomplishment. It definitely is.
Yeah.
Definitely is. And, the more I listen and see these types of things, the more I see the value and necessity for us to keep doing what we do, keep pushing our business, keep growing our business, and just do what we need to do.
Yeah, we just do what we need to do, and everybody gets a passion about what they do, just like we have a passion for what we do. And
I want to talk to you a little bit off the air about a nonprofit entity that I think should be established.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be great for many of the businesses in our community.
Right, exactly.
And see how we can do that. So
yeah. So today, we kind of leading into what our show is going to look like this afternoon. We're just so pleased and honored that George Fraser is going to be on the show, and this is definitely a passion of his, is creating and closing that wealth gap in our communities. He's very committed to the African American community with the workshops and tours, the financial tours that he does throughout the year. And then he has his Big Power Network conference every year in Maryland, and we're going to talk about that as well when he's on the show. But George, I've been following, and he's been a mentor of mine for the last 25 years, and I'm just my networking skills were developed through working and watching him and reading his books and so forth. And I think he is just definitely a guru. I used to call him my networking guru. Yeah, that's a guru, because the way his skill sets on developing and building relationships was just phenomenal, and especially in the early days of my career. So people always say, Krista, how come you know everybody? Because I develop, and they're not just I don't just know their names. I have relationships with these people. So, and a lot of that came from reading his books and from going to his workshops. So I am really, really excited about him coming on the show.
That's good.
I think, and this is kind of what our commitment is for our purpose for the Business Zone.
Yes,
was to provide information, usable information that we can get to our community to help them make better decisions on their business, on their family life, on their children's lives, and to create that wealth for themselves.
I hear that.
So we're going to probably take a break, and when we come back,
We're going to bring the man on.
Yes, okay.
I can't wait. I'm all excited.
And for those of you on Facebook Live, if you want to actually hear him, you can go. He's calling in, so you can go to morrismedialive.com and check us out. Yep, definitely. And also remember to subscribe to our YouTube the Business channel. Zone. Yes, the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. Yes. Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
The conference is about helping people to build wealth, learn about wealth creation, as well as becoming entrepreneurs and business owners. How do you define wealth, and what must we do as African Americans to change our circumstances so that we can obtain wealth?
Well, I think we have a couple of habits that we have to fix. We have a couple of paradigms that we have to reshape. A mantra or two that we have to embed into our deep subconscious mind. Something as simple as we must live below our means and invest the rest. We must stop living above our means, which means we spend more than we earn. We must start living within our means, which means we spend everything we earn and start living below our means so that we're able to pay ourselves first and then to invest those resources so that there's an intergenerational transfer of wealth. Mm-hmm. That's proper insurance, proper wealth management, proper building, proper earning capacity. And to earn more, you have to learn more. And so that's one of the themes of the conference, is that we must learn, earn, and return.
The Exceptional Business Leaders Series is brought to you by the Power Networking Conference and Exceptional People magazine.
You're on.
Hello and welcome back to the Business Zone. This is Crystal.
And Gilbert Buchanan, the small business paramedic.
And do we have Mr. George Fraser on the other line?
You have Mr. George Fraser on the other line, reporting in. This time, I'm not in Costa Rica. I'm in Los Angeles.
Mr. Fraser, good afternoon and welcome to the show, sir. Welcome to the show.
Oh, it's an honor to be back with you and, sort of be in your town and be around and try to do some good over the next 48 hours.
Oh yeah, we know you are. I know you definitely have the capabilities to do so. I was telling Gilbert, my co-host here, and I don't think you've not had an opportunity to meet George.
No, never at all, and I can't wait.
You need to meet George. George, I'm gonna make you blush a little bit. He is a phenomenal man. Gilbert, when you're in his presence, it's just you just have so much hope because he has so much hope for our community. And so I am very pleased. But George, I did see you on the horse in Costa Rica, so it looked like you were having a fantastic time.
Oh man, Costa Rica is the bomb.com. You ever been there? Oh, you gotta go. Oh my God, what a beautiful place. A lot of Americans are moving there. As an alternative, to the Caribbean or Mexico or whatever. It's wonderful.
That is true. I've seen it on the Home and Garden channel where they do that international housing where they purchase homes in foreign countries. I've seen that. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible.
Well, now Gilbert is from Jamaica, so he's got an island flavor about him.
Oh yes.
See, and my father's from Guyana.
Oh, see, so he's our neighbor.
Absolutely. No question about that, man.
All right,
man.
Well, we are just so honored to have you on the show. So I'm going to read a little bit of your bio for those that don't know you. Dr. George Fraser is the chairman and CEO of Frasernet, Inc., a company he founded over 25 years ago with the vision to lead a global networking movement that brings together diverse human resources to increase opportunities for people of African descent. He's considered to be a new voice for the African Americans. While George's accomplishments are significant, his beginnings are very humble. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, into a family of 11 children, 8 boys and 3 girls. When George's mom became mentally ill, George's dad couldn't care for the 11 children. George was orphaned at 3 and spent 14 years in foster homes. George's guidance counselor suggested he drop out of high school. However, he graduated with a vocational diploma in woodworking because the school systems did not consider him college material. He mopped floors at LaGuardia Airport while he paid his way through college. Later, he graduated from Dartmouth College Minority Business Executive Program, and in 1999, he was awarded the honorary doctorate degree of Humane Letters from Jarvis Christian College. Dr. Fraser rose to leadership positions with Procter & Gamble, the United Way, and Ford Motor Company. It was 25 years ago that God unveiled his real purpose for George. So, George, I'm going to let you tell us what that real purpose is.
Well, you said it succinctly, and that really is to help our people understand the power and importance of the relationships in our lives, the power of cooperation and collaboration, with an emphasis on collaboration, because when we cooperate, 1 and 1 makes 2.
Mm-hmm.
When we collaborate, 1 and 1 makes 11.
That's true.
So that's where we must be in the 21st century. We must get together to get ahead. We need a lot of us doing a little instead of a few of us doing a lot. So I've been working on teaching the art and science of collaboration, of networking, and using those 2 sciences, if you will, to develop our people economically. And because I think for the 21st and 22nd century for us, economics will be the new black power.
That's
economics
right.
will be the new black power.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
No question about that. And so we have to work on mindset, and we have to work on consciousness around money. We are fundamentally a financially illiterate people, as evident in how we spend our money. We are a $1.2 trillion economy. If we were a nation, we would be the 16th richest nation in the entire world, but our money goes in one direction away from us, and we're some of America's most conspicuous consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to work on our financial literacy and mindset, because at the end of the day, when we finish pontificating ad nauseum about our issues, Somebody's got to write a check. Right? Our Jewish brothers and sisters can write a check. Asian brothers and sisters can write a check. East Indians can write a check. We can't write a check. And we have to understand that while racism is alive and well in America, make no mistake about that, it has always been, and it will be for certainly as long as we and our children and our grandchildren live. We must understand that at the end of the day, the only color that really matters is green.
It's green.
Yes.
Is green. That's what matters in a market-based economy in a democratic capitalistic society.
Yeah.
So until our pile of green is as big and as high and as deep and as wide and as leveraged as any other culture group's pile of green, we will never be considered an equal at the table of democratic capitalism. So we have to work on our mindset and our consciousness. So let me give you a couple of examples of what I am talking about. One, the goal is to win, not to look like you're winning. The goal, brothers and sisters, is to win, not to just look like you're winning. So let me give you a metaphor for that. I would rather carry a plastic bag with $5,000 in it than carry a $5,000 Louis Vuitton bag with $100 in it. Do you understand the mindset?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
One is winning, the other is looking like you're winning, but you're not really winning.
Exactly.
So we have to work on that mindset and understand Proverbs 13:22. It tells us what? That a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Right.
So we must work on the intergenerational transfer of wealth. And there was an interesting article in USA Today not long ago. I hope you saw it. It was on the front page, below the fold, about black baby boomers and their money. And here's the essence of the article. Here's what the article said. The black baby boomers will be the first generation of Africans in America to raise another generation of Africans in America that will not do better than them. So in the 400-year history of our people in this great country, we are the only generation to raise another generation that will be worse off. We need our behinds kicked. We cannot allow that to happen.
Exactly.
And that is going to be heaped on us unless we do something radical, unless we do something different. And that's what we're going to, again, talk about tomorrow. What is the radical thing that we must do? What are the different things that we must do? Because financial literacy is at the genesis of this mindset and consciousness, and we don't get it, right? And we have to figure out how to assuage our addiction to consumption. And this disease that we have around money. And so we've come up with a very radical way to deal with that. I don't want to talk about it now, but if you come and you participate tomorrow for a full day for our financial emancipation tour, produced by Barbara Lindsay, the great Barbara Lindsay.
Yes, the very great Barbara Lindsay.
She's incredible, isn't she? The
Oh,
great
my God.
Barbara Lindsay. I love her.
Yeah, Barbara is fantastic.
yeah.
George, let me intercede with the information
Sure.
for the conference, the tour tomorrow. It's Saturday, January 28th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's at the Carson Community Center at 801 East Carson Street, corner of Aviation and Carson. And there we got just a host of individuals that's going to infuse you, and along with Dr. George Fraser, Elsie Green, Shirley Johnson, Mr. John Brown, and Dr. Rosie Milliken, the self-proclaimed mayor of South LA.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Rosie ain't playing right now.
Dr. Rosie is thebomb.com, isn't she? I love her. I mean, what a lineup. You've got a lineup of when you aggregate the amount of years and experience in the area of money and wealth, and financial literacy, you've got 200 years of experience, right?
Right.
200 years of experience. So, get out and come and participate and learn, because the purpose of black people for the 21st century, this our purpose now. The thing that we must do as we work towards saving succeeding generations is to learn, to earn, and return.
That's right.
There's a sequence right there.
I
Yes.
like that.
Learn, but see, if you want to earn more, you have to learn more.
Exactly.
So to learn, to earn, and return, and with specific emphasis on financial literacy. This is the next big thing. This is what I call the third and final moral imperative and moral assignment for our people. Economic development, wealth creation, and the closing of the income and wealth gap between blacks and whites in America. There was an interesting study that came out in August of last year, the Institute of Policy study on the wealth gap between blacks and whites in America. And at the conclusion of the study, here's the statement that they closed the study with. They said, if nothing changes among African Americans, it will take us 228 years to close the wealth gap between blacks and whites in this country, if ever. 228 years. It said it will take Hispanics 89 years, but it will take us 228 years if nothing changes. That is almost the amount of time it took us to overcome slavery.
Exactly. Right? And so why would be 89 years for the Hispanic community and 200 in your opinion, George, and 228 years for African American families to reach that wealth?
Three very, very big reasons. The power of family, two people working together.
Okay, power of family.
Like mine, the power of family. As you know, Hispanics are very much about family.
Yes.
The power of entrepreneurship.
Right.
Hispanics are very entrepreneurial.
Right.
Okay, very entrepreneurial. And they have a savings ethic, right?
Okay.
It is woven into their culture that they save. Now, they save a percentage of their income. Like Asians, they have a saving culture. So from a mindset and consciousness standpoint, they're 60-70% there.
Right, exactly.
Now, I don't have to tell you we have a family issue in Black America.
Yes.
Do you know what the biggest problem? Do you know what the biggest problem in Black America is aside from money? Okay, but it's related to money. The biggest problem in Black America is the absence of the black male in the home.
Right. So single families run and operated and cared for by moms who are overworked and overstressed.
That's right. You got the sisters trying to pull this cart by themselves for the most part. 72% of our children are being raised by single-parent families. So family is important, right?
Yes.
A culture of savings is important.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is important. So these are elements that we have to shift our consciousness and shift our mindset. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about where are the opportunities? What are the best business opportunities for blacks in America? What is the kind of radicalness that we have to engage to deal with our addiction and disease around money? Okay? So that's what we're going to focus on. Because if Martin Luther King would have come back here 50 years after his death,
right,
he would pimp slap black people. He would pimp slap us. We're at the bottom of every single statistic that matters in America. He would say to black people, is this what I took a bullet for? We have gone backwards.
In fact,
this is unacceptable.
It is very, and it's funny you say that because last week, I believe it was one of my friends on Facebook had said that, wow, if Martin Luther King had known, if we knew what we knew now, he could have had a normal life. If we weren't going to move past where we were and follow suit, he could have had a normal life. Coretta could have had her husband. He wouldn't have been bugged. None of that stuff. So we did a disservice to him, and very disrespectful, in my opinion, that we didn't continue to carry the torch to rise our people up when he laid the groundwork.
So metaphorically, he died and we died.
Exactly. And it's kind of funny because entrepreneurially, that was the core of who we are and who we were in our ancestors from the motherland. That was the core of that, right? So for us to lose, and I know why we lost it during segregation, but us to lose that innate DNA a fiber, because that's where mine came from, was something that was perpetuated through my family. I'm a third generation entrepreneur, but for us not to have been able to carry, that's part of our DNA.
That's right. Now, is this Blog Talk Radio or is this regular terrestrial radio?
It is
internet radio. It's like a podcast.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's Blog Talk.
Yeah. It's a visual podcast. So we are actually it's streaming live right now on MorrisMediaLive.com.
So I want to say a bad word.
No, that's okay. You can go ahead. You can.
I want to say a bad word, but I want to say it in context. Okay. And I say this with love.
Okay.
And I posted this on my Facebook page today, actually. And it is a quote from my most favorite Facebook response. Okay.
Okay.
And I prefaced this quote from a brother out of New Orleans by basically saying, in the name of keeping it real, a fan sent me this on a Facebook post in response to a blistering diatribe speech that I gave to a large audience recently, and he was in attendance.
Okay.
And the speech was on the destructive state of our financial mindset and consciousness and the negative impact on future generations of black children. And I said, I think his honest remarks says volumes. So here's what this brother wrote to me. He said, Dr. Fraser, you got me thinking in a way that I never knew existed. I never felt more proud to be a black man than I do today. The success of it all is overwhelming. I'm alive. Thank you for kicking me in my black lazy ass. Now I said, that says volumes.
That says volumes.
That says volumes. So what it says to me is that we have the capacity, we have the intellect, okay? We have the potential resources, just that too many of us are lazy, because what you and I and we're all talking about will take work.
Yes.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
Will take elbow grease, as my mama used to say.
Yes, it does.
Elbow grease. And we have to move out of this cathartic state that we are in. And this state that in a sense depresses our capacity to be the magnificent people that we really are. We are God's first people. That's not hype.
No.
That's real. The first human remains, humans as we know them, were found in the Olduvai Gorge 75,000 years ago in Ethiopia. In Ethiopia. And if you're hanging out in Ethiopia, and I've been to Ethiopia, you're blue-black.
Yes.
So we are awesome human beings. My Jewish friends tell me all the time, Dr. Fraser, Jews are God's chosen people. And I retort by saying, well, Jews may be God's chosen people, but black people are God's first people. Okay? So, yes, I love you, my Jewish brother, but understand that your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmama is from Africa.
Exactly.
Right. So we are magnificent people with enormous capacity, and too many of us have not chosen the path of work ethic necessary to do the learning, to do the earning, and then do the returning.
Exactly.
So it's not a problem of capacity. There's nothing wrong with our DNA. We are not less intelligent than anybody. In fact, I believe that in many cases we are more intelligent. You saw Hidden Figures, right?
Yes.
We are more intelligent, right? But we have become complacent.
See, Dr. Fraser,
Yes.
I think I totally agree with you. I'm thinking that a lot of this has to do with that Willie Lynch doctrine that was passed on to us back in the day, and a lot of people can't let go of it.
That's right.
So,
Amen. I'm glad you said it.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
We need to break away. We got to figure out a way how to get folks to break away from that doctrine, because it's really suppressing us. It's suppressing our growth, our economic viability, and everything.
That's right. Well, I have a radical approach that I'm going to take. A radical approach, and I think it's going to take something radical.
It will
to again move us, because I classify it as like an addiction, like a disease. And when you have an addiction, we know that there's really one system that has, over nearly 100 years, that has effectively dealt with addictions. So I think that we need to move our people in the direction of using the simple 3-step system that Alcoholics Anonymous uses to treat sobriety, or Weight Watchers uses to treat obesity. Right?
Yes.
It's a very simple system. Now, they are the most successful organization in treating addictions. Okay? They have almost 100 years of experience. So this 3-step process is simple. Is you get the person that has the addiction to pledge to a commitment or to a series of steps. And you know Alcoholics Anonymous has a 12-step program.
Right.
Weight Watchers has their own, I think, 7-step program. So to get us to pledge to some sort of series of commitments, okay? Now, we have crafted those commitments in the Moses movement, making ourselves economically successful movement. We started about 10 years ago, the Moses movement. So we have crafted what we call the 10 commitments to financial freedom. So they sound like this. Thou shalt prepare yourself and your family to tithe easily, effortlessly, and joyfully. Thou shalt maximize your earning potential, better manage your budget, and live below your means. Number 3, thou shalt start building wealth now and prepare your children to start early. Number 4, thou shalt save and invest at least 10% of your monthly income. Number 5, thou shalt use a home ownership and real estate as the cornerstone for building wealth. Number 6, thou shalt establish an investment plan for your retirement needs, your children's education, and community-based philanthropy. Number 7, thou shalt more effectively manage your credit, debt, and tax obligations to develop a track record of predictable financial behavior. Number 8 is thou shalt ensure that your wealth is passed to future generations through proper insurance and estate planning. Number 9, thou shalt support the creation and growth of minority-owned businesses. And number 10, thou shalt monitor and focus on your wellness to live a long and fruitful life as a model for your children. So we need our people to commit to, just as you have to if you go to Alcoholics Anonymous or Weight Watchers, to admit to some system and then set a goal. So our goal in the Moses movement is to become debt-free within 3 years, excluding your mortgage, and to commit to saving at least $50 a month. That's our goal.
Okay,
right?
so debt-free in 3 years and saving $50 a month. This is very... And saving. This is very similar to the Jewish phenomenon, their commitment, their principles. Right. I believe there's 17, is it 10 of them as well. It's a book I read, The Jewish Phenomenon. And that's what they talk about is and that's what they have patterned their lives. A little different in the sense that their wealth is portable, but they support their communities, which is recycling black dollars, which Muhammad Nazardine, I'm the co-director of that organization, and Muhammad, that was his thing. 29 years ago, was supporting your community. I mean, that shouldn't be so difficult. But George, it's funny. When I go out to meetings now, especially in light of what's going on in our communities, and I'm the director of Recycling Black Dollars, and they'll go, wow, that's a great concept. We should really be doing that. What?
Right. And that's because people are not reading the right things and surrounding themselves with people of like mind.
Right.
And that's one of the commitments you must make when you go through an addiction program.
Right.
You have to. I know a lot about Alcoholics Anonymous because my best friend was an alcoholic, and I had to do the intervention. And when you do the intervention, you also have to commit to going through the Alcoholics Anonymous system so that you know how to support the person that you intervene on. Right.
Right.
So one of the steps in overcoming an addiction is to commit to going at least 2 to 4 times a month, once a week, right, to a support center, right, where you are in a circle of people that are going through the same withdrawal symptoms and learning system as you are, right?
Right.
And they have support centers for Alcoholics Anonymous and Weight Watchers. In Cleveland, we have 41 Alcoholics Anonymous support centers. So any time of any day, you can go to a support group and a support center and get help and be around and to talk through with people who can support you in your self-improvement and can support you in growing around this particular addiction that you may have. So that's really the third step in Alcoholics Anonymous. The second step, what do we say? The first step is to commit to some sort of sequence of pledges, and set a little goal. The second step is to commit to the literacy around your addiction. Right? So when you go to Alcoholics Anonymous, when you go to Weight Watchers or Alcoholics Anonymous, you have to learn about the intellectually, you have to become literate about the language and the ups and downs and the psychology of how to overcome your addiction. You have to become literate. So the same thing with money. We have to become literate about money, right? And there's many books written on, and there's many things taught, and many people teaching those things so that we can become more literate, change our mindset, change our consciousness. So 1 is commit to a pledge and a goal. 2, commit to becoming literate, right, about what your addiction is and isn't. And 3, commit to going to a support group. Now, so the hard part for us, here's the hard part for us. The hard part is, where would we go?
Yeah.
That's the hard part. Okay, where would we go? So with Weight Watchers in Cleveland, for example, there are 31 Weight Watchers support groups in the greater Cleveland area, and Alcoholics Anonymous, there are 41, okay, places that you can go. So here's my idea. Here's what I think we can do. There are 75,000 black churches in America. 15,000 of them have what they call wealth ministries.
Right.
Now, I've spoken in many of those wealth ministries. The problem with those wealth ministries, in some of them, not all of them, is the people who are ministering in those wealth ministries are not certified in financial literacy training.
Exactly.
Right? That's a pretty easy certification to get. I'm certified in financial literacy training. Right? So I would approach a pastor and say, listen, let's start a wealth ministry in your church if you don't already have one. the person who raises their hand to teach in that wealth ministry must get a certification around financial literacy training. So we'll upgrade the teaching in the ministry.
Okay.
Secondly, let's change the name. Let's not call it a wealth ministry. But it's going to be a financial literacy support center. That's essentially what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to change the name. We're going to give it something that helps black people feel that when they come, they can soar. So here's my name for the new 21st century Black Church Wealth Ministry. WINGS. WINGS. And WINGS is an acronym meaning wealth in the name of God and His Son. Wealth in the name of God and His Son. That's right. And basically, so we renamed the wealth ministry to WINGS. And this is really a financial literacy support center. This is a place where our people can go, because we have churches everywhere. In Cleveland, we have 175 black churches, right? So even if just a quarter of them had wealth ministries where people can actually come and be around people who are dealing with the same issue, that's the final piece. That's the third and final piece that will move us towards overcoming the challenges that we have psychologically that leads to a stinking thinking, badass habits, and a lack of consciousness around the power and importance of money. Money is huge. Don't misunderstand me. That money is critically important. It's right up there with oxygen.
It is.
No question about that. But there are other things in life, and there has to be some balance. But at the end of the day, we have to understand the power of this thing called money and how we use it. So I was speaking at the State of the Black World in New Jersey about a month ago, talking on economics, and these are all of the African-centered brothers and sisters from around the country. Minister Farrakhan was there, and Malana Karenga, who invented Kwanzaa, was there. All of those types.
Oh, okay.
And they were talking about everything but money. They were talking about reparations. They were talking about, resolving the issue of jail time for powder cocaine versus crack cocaine, the prison industrial. Wonderful, powerful, critical things. Right? So I was the only person talking about money. Money. My job was to talk about economics to this illustrious group. And so I said to them, all of you are doing incredible work in the community, or you wouldn't be here. This is the State of the Black World. You wouldn't be here. I know you're doing incredible work. You're heading up some of the most important nonprofit organizations in Black America. I said, but let me imagine something for you. Let me wave a magic wand for you. Just close your eyes for a moment. I wave a magic wand. And on Monday, when you go back to your organization, there's $1 billion of tax-free money in your account. Would that make a difference on the work that you could do? Of course it would make a difference. So my point is, there is no problem in Black America that 50 or 60 more billionaires couldn't solve. Ask Jews.
Exactly.
Ask the Jews.
Which is amazing to me, because when you look at capitalist America, and even what's going on with in Washington today, is all about very wealthy white men, old white men, that want to hang on to every dollar and to acquire every dollar in the entire global world. And to make sure that they keep it, they eliminate it from others. But I was telling someone yesterday, it's interesting to me, because as a business owner, it's about someone exchanging dollars to create your wealth, right? So if we eliminate all, to make sure that the middle class is completely eliminated, who are the spenders, and you starve out the lower class, the poverty, beyond the poverty level, just take everything, which is what Donald Trump is talking about, then how do the billionaires assume that they're going to stay billionaires?
That's right. That's right.
So
and by the way, do you think Donald Trump would be president if he wasn't a billionaire?
No, he would not.
I don't think so.
No. You wouldn't even hire him as he would be fired. He wouldn't even have made the application to become a CEO of anybody's company beyond his own.
Right. That's right.
He would not have qualified.
No question about that. So money matters.
Money matters.
It matters. It matters.
Yes, it does.
You know, I can't say it enough. So we're encouraging people to come out on Saturday. I'm going to teach people how for $100 a month, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
This is not some scam. This is not some, BS. For $100 a month, I can show you how to make your child or grandchild a millionaire in cash, in living and death benefits, right? By the time they retire. And so, to that end, we have set a goal. We have a goal. We have a goal now. We have a 20-year goal. 1 million $1 million babies. 1 million $1 million babies. The least we can do is save our children. The least we can do is save our children. And I can show you how to make I can show you how to do that. For $100 a month,
right,
you can build a legacy for your children and leave them millionaires. Okay, but now, you don't want to just leave your children millionaires. You want to make them financially literate. You want to educate them about how to leverage and utilize the wealth that you leave them, right?
Right.
So that's an education process. That's why it's a 20-year goal. Now, once we achieve this goal, and we will achieve it, that will mean that our generation will be responsible for the intergenerational transfer of $1 trillion of wealth. That is the largest amount of wealth ever left by an African-American generation in the history of our people in this country. $1 trillion of intergenerational transfer of wealth. That's got to be our goal.
Yes.
And so we're going to show people how to do that. This is how you can do it. It's not that white folks have been doing this for years and years and years, leaving their children wealth for pennies on a dollar. There's ways that you can do this, and it's not complicated. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. But there's things that we were not exposed to, our parents were not exposed to when we were coming up. And because our parents were not exposed to these things, we were not taught. They were not modeled for us.
Right.
Well, that's over.
Yeah,
all the instruments, all the vessels and tools to do this today are readily available. The information to do this legally, right? And with elegance and class,
right,
all in place. Most of us just don't know how to do it.
So what would be the plan far as the churches? Because we do know, that is essentially where, well, traditionally the black community has gotten a lot of their information. And I know John Bryan, at the same time Muhammad started Recycling Black Dollars, he started Operation Hope. So he's been on that path for a while, and I believe he's has another initiative going on called the Silver Movement as well. On financial literacy, and there have been programs not probably as focused on that as we should have been, moving us to that level, because as Gilbert says, it's our mindset. It's almost like we need to have a ceremony that says, okay, the chains have been broken, and you guys can freely think on your own. We don't have to believe that their sugar is sweeter than our sugar, and that you're released, because it almost needs to be as if there's a ceremony in addition to following the 10 steps.
That's right.
And making a commitment, right? Because
there's a ritual. It's
got to be a ritual, right?
That's right.
It has to be a ritual, and maybe remember back in the day, and I don't know if you were ever out here, George, when we had a black family reunion. Maybe it's something like that, right? where we're bringing them in, and I liked your concept. I attended the Power Network for the first time conference, and I'm registered to go this coming in July. But when you did the what was so powerful to me was when you did the opening of the doors, and it was all ceremonial and ritual through
and ritualistic. That's right.
Ritualistic through knowing your beginnings, your ancestry, your DNA. Where did you come from? Kind of starting from there to the now. Because that helped. It helped me a lot. I did mine. And it's just phenomenal, the feeling that you get once you find out what your origin is.
That's right. That's right. That's how we get out, folks. We've been doing the conference. This is our 16th year coming up. And we do that ritual, and we have been doing that ritual every year for 16 years. We will not start our conference without that ritual. That gets us centered and grounded in who we are. And that sets the tone and the pace for the rest of the conference, of which you know is intense.
Oh, it was the most amazing. I came back and and Gilbert has heard me talk. I've spoke about that for like 3 months. Everyone I came back, I said, I've gone to many conferences, and you have never attended a conference like this one. And whatever you do, get there in July because it's an awesome, and I can't wait. I think Bree, I paid for everything already. I'm just waiting. All I got to do is get on the plane.
That's right. And so you get it. You see, you get it.
Right.
And that's, and more of us over time will get it, and we have to take. It's an immersion. That's what you experience at the Power Networking Conference.
Yes,
ritual and immersion, total immersion. We keep you up all day and all night.
Yep. You did. Yes, you did.
If you want to go to a workshop at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, we have workshops, right?
All the way up until 11. I think we got to bed at 12 o'clock, and then we were up again.
That's right.
George, what, and I know this has been going on for a number of years, what started the conference? Because originally you were doing more about relationships, right? And relationship building. What actually started what was the influence behind the Power Networking Conference?
Well, we just talked about it. You hit the nail right on the head. We were doing a series of workshops and events touring the country, speaking about networking and the power and importance of collaboration, cooperation, networking. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then, good ideas take time to grow. Right? So I had to evolve. And as I evolved, I came to the conclusion that we needed a more ritualistic and immersion kind of process to really infect, affect, and effect our mindset and consciousness. So that's the conclusion I came to. So I said, well, then how do you actuate that? Okay, if that's what is needed, how do you pull that off? What does that look like? And that said, well, it's got to be a coming together of our people of like mind. Mm-hmm. The people there are of like, there's 43 to 42 million black people in America. It wasn't 42 million people there. It was sold out at 1,500. Mm-hmm. Those are people of like mind. Right? Mm-hmm. So you gather people of like mind who, and then you immerse them in a ritual, and you immerse them in content that's relevant to business and money, because that's all we talk about at the conference.
That's all you talk about. That's all we talked about.
Right. Well, we're not talking about reparations. We're not talking about the prison industrial complex. All those things are important, but there are plenty of organizations talking about that.
Right.
We're talking about business and money. That's what we're talking about. And we happen to be the only black conference in America that's all that's being focused on for 4 days. In fact, Forbes magazine is the ultimate capitalist tool. They named Power Networking as one of the top 5 conferences not to be missed in America. Not one of the top 5 black conferences, one of the top 5 conferences, right?
Yes.
So people are going to get a taste of that tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to immerse them in business and money. They're just going to get a little sample. They're going to get an hors d'oeuvre. But if they want a full meal, Crystal, they have to come to us in Washington, D.C., or National
Maryland.
Harbor,
Yeah.
at the Gaylord Hotel, and we will give them we'll give them more than they can eat.
Oh, wow. You're absolutely right. It was definitely more. I was on a high for a month after I got back. And actually, we even had one of the contacts that I made when I was in D.C., we even had him on the show. His company is the Wealth Syndicate, and he actually came in on the show about 2 months after we launched, and it was a really great show. And so I'm looking to establish a relationship so that the West is connecting with the East and the North and the South, so that we can have different components, so we can see it not just in our own little isolated state of California. Because one of the things that Gilbert and I did when we started the Business Zone was we recognized there are not enough talk shows that is just focused on business and finance and wealth and tips on helping small businesses become better business and successful businesses. In fact, there weren't for our people, there weren't any. They're all geared around entertainment and that stuff, but nothing that was really specific to the business population.
Right.
That's right. That's right. And so you continue as we continue to teach what I call from my perspective, the four cornerstones of wealth. And I think they're very simple. First, you have to have seed. We learned this in the Bible. So the seed is your savings and your tithing.
Right.
Okay, so whether you're personal tithing, you tithe to you first, and then tithe to those institutions that matter, that are helping you in this area financially. So savings and tithing is one of the cornerstones.
Right.
Then once you have the seed, the second cornerstone is proper investment of the seed.
Right.
Putting the seed in the soil, cultivating the seed, giving it water, right? Nurturing it, giving it time. Then over time, the seed flowers and bears fruit in great abundance. That, in business language, is investment.
Right.
Okay? And then the third cornerstone, as far as I'm concerned, is land ownership.
Yes.
Owning some land, property. Everything is about equity and ownership. Owning land, because the tax system was set up for the landowner and the business owner.
Right.
Why? Because landowners and business owners write the tax laws. So if we don't own land, and we own the fewest number of homes per capita of any cultural group in this country, and we came over here before the Mayflower, and if we don't own businesses, that's the fourth cornerstone. Business ownership. If we don't own businesses, and again, we own the fewest number of businesses per capita of any cultural group that lives in this country, and again, we came over here before the Mayflower, then we cannot fully exploit the American tax system because it's set up for the landowner and the business owner. That's why Trump does not want you to see his tax returns. Not because he did anything illegal, it's because he is a massive landowner, as you well know, and business owner. And so he fully exploits the American tax system, and he doesn't pay any taxes.
Right. Exactly. The
system was set up for people like him.
Exactly.
So we must become landowners and business owners.
Okay.
And in any number of ways, you can act on that.
Okay.
Those are the four cornerstones, right? Savings and tithing, which is the seed, investment, planting the seed, land ownership, and business ownership. Four cornerstones if you want real wealth in America.
Okay, so those
you want to have something to transfer to your children.
Right.
Because you cannot transfer your job.
No,
you can't do that.
No, you can't transfer your job. You can't pass your job on down as in the will.
No.
And nor can you pass on something that you're renting. You can't do that either.
Right.
You have to own it. So tomorrow at January 28th on Saturday, it is the Emancipation Tour, right? Financial Tour. And it is at the Carson Community Center at 801 East Carson Street at the corner of Avalon and Carson. Dr. Fraser will be there with a host of other very knowledgeable, committed individuals to our community. And we're going to teach you how to secure your financial future and start to change your mindset. So it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And So if you're looking for tickets, the program is supported and sponsored by Barbara Lindsay. You can give her a call, and let me get the phone number for her. And get your tickets there. I actually have a few tickets as well. It's through Sold Out Connection, so you can reach out to us and here at the Business Zone.
If you would like, I can give you a phone number that people can call if you want to act now.
Oh, that'd be perfect. 310 498 3783.
3783.
That's 310-498-3783. And ask for Barbara Lindsay, and she will get you some tickets for tomorrow. I believe there are 30 at the door, and they're $24.97. The parking is free, and you will have an opportunity to change your life and change your children's life and your community's life this is your first step. This is the very first step to the program, right? Commitment.
Just very first step. But it's also the very, come to the Financial Emancipation Tour tomorrow and get your wings. Wealth in the name of God and His Son.
Exactly. And then after that, and then you're all enticed and you're just loving that, then you want to. Can they sign up for the Power Network Conference there as well?
Oh, yeah. We'll be talking about that, too. Of course. So this is part one. Like you said, this is part one.
Part one.
There's part two.
And
right?
part two is the Power Network Conference, July 6th through the 8th.
5th through the 8th.
6th through the 8th, and it's at the Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center in Prince George County, Maryland. Now, George, when I attended last year, one of the things that I was so impressed by was the Gaylord. When I came in and I registered and I looked at the registration desk and everybody looked like me. I walked on through the hotel and everybody looked at me. I went to my room and everybody that was turning down my bed looked like me. So much so that I had to ask one of the young ladies, like, excuse me, I hope you don't misunderstand this, but why is everybody here black that works at this hotel? I was blown away. I'm not in Atlanta. I'm in Maryland. And so she told me that it was written into their contract that at any time, 55% of the employment of the working staff had to be black. And they were just exceptional, exceptional.
Absolutely. So, well, and remember now, Prince George's County is in the greater Washington, D.C. area, and right near Baltimore and right near Philadelphia. And there's a ton of highly qualified black people right in that area from which you can, provide employment. Right? You ain't looking to go have to search for them. They're there. Yeah. They're there, and they're doing the right thing. And they have a big black clientele.
Yeah. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So I'm going to tell our radio audience that you want to attend tomorrow at the Emancipation Tour, and you definitely want to go there so you can sign up for the Power Network. It will change your life. So, George, we know you have a very busy schedule, but one question, what are your thoughts on our new administration and how it's going or can possibly affect our people?
So let me say it as simply and as elegantly as I can. I did not vote for Donald Trump, as most black folk didn't, although 13% of black men voted for Donald Trump. That's a whole other story. But he is what he is. And a leopard cannot change his spots.
Right.
Okay? So what you saw during the campaign is what we are going to get during his administration. It's not going to look very good for us. So instead of angsting about that, and stressing out about that, what I'm telling black people, bless him and release him. You've got to wish him well, because if you wish him badly, you're basically wishing the country badly.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. This is where we live. All right. Pray for that white man. Pray for that white man.
Unlike
and understand that white folks ain't saving us.
Yeah.
No.
Okay? We're saving us.
Right.
So we must circle the wagons. We must man up and woman up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let me say it a different way. People will not change when they see the light.
Mm-hmm.
People will change when they feel the heat.
Mm.
So if you are black in America and you don't feel any heat, I'm going to pray for you. But most of us are under some serious heat. And so we have to change. And, God works in mysterious ways, okay? And maybe he made a crazy white man president to put some fire on the black people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's how I choose to look at it.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually motivated.
Oh.
I'm inspired. Right?
Oh, for sure.
I got. If there was an inch of lazy in me, right, it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. January 20th, all laziness should have just evaporated. When you woke up, you should have been charged and ready to run out the house.
That's right. Amen.
As Dr. Rosie said at her last town hall meeting, she said, well, finally, they didn't put the white-only sign out. And now we're back in a position where we have absolutely no choice to survive, but to take care of ourselves. So she's right. They've put the white-only sign out, and if we're going to survive, we have to ritually go through a ritual and release our brains and our mind in order to move forward and heal ourselves and do what we have to do to take care of our community.
Amen.
Well,
and you and both of you are just a credit to our people. You are a community drum around this whole notion of business and money, and I just want to urge you to stay the course. Stay the course. And that's simply me. That's what I sign. Only 3 words I sign when I sign books. It simply means chart a good and righteous course. Stay that course, and then all that is due you will come to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fraser. Truly, truly appreciate your inspiration and your wonderful words.
And we're going to make sure that we, the show goes up tonight on our Facebook page. I'll send it over to you, and Barbara will put it on hers. And hopefully you'll have a nice turnout tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can talk Mr. Gilbert over here into attending. If he's a super busy man, but very, very talented. So that's why we're partners here. And then I will be in Maryland in July.
Great.
I wanted to attend Dr. Fraser, but I had some other stuff going on with some clients that I gotta really take care of. So I apologize. I sincerely apologize.
No apology necessary. Let me just say it simply to you. Handle your business.
Thank you, sir.
Handle your business.
And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person real soon.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, George, for coming on,
Thank
and
you.
I will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was a wonderful interview with Dr. George Fraser. Do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back.
Okay.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
And we're back to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert.
All right.
So I hope you guys enjoyed George. I'm just always impressed with George. Just a very intelligent man, but very passionate about his community. I would suggest to you to become a friend on his Facebook because he puts up some incredible, very inspirational messages every day. Several times a day. One of them that I read or I received the other day, which was very apropos right after the women's march. Yes, and it says, now here's a man, George was saying spot on, so someone sent this to him, and he said, here's a man who understands women. And it's William Golding, and he's a British novelist, playwright, and poet. He was born in 1911 to 1993. His message is, I think women are foolish to pretend they are equal to men. They are far superior and always have been. Whatever you give a woman, she will make greater. If you give her sperm, she will give you a baby. If you give her a house, she will give you a home. If you give her groceries, she will give you a meal. If you give her a smile, she will give you her heart. She multiplies and enlarges what is given to her. So if you give her any crap, be ready to receive a ton of.
I love that. I love that.
You like that? Is it true as a man? Is that true?
I am going to have to share that in my workshop.
So I will send that over to you.
Powerful.
But that's powerful, right? Because she
powerful.
will make you a home. She will make a home for your children. She'll give you children, which carries on your legacy. She'll make you a meal. But if you give her any crap, man, you're in for it. So, which is interesting because when I saw the women's march, I was like, oh, Donald, you just messed up. All of you individuals that think you're going to send women back to the 1920s.
It will not happen.
I mean, as a man, you know better than to try to tell a woman that she's going to bow and that she's going back anywhere. None of that's going to happen. You gave us our freedom, and we are not going to lose our freedom.
Right.
So
that's right.
But what George talked about is something that we talk about all the time, and we do recognize that we do have a disease, and that disease is being connected to our community, not being apathetic about what's going on around us, and getting involved and engaged.
Exactly.
And I think last week I must have put this on my Facebook probably every other hour is if one falls, we all fall.
That's for sure.
And more so now than ever has that statement meant so much So we all have to come together. It is our responsibility to build successful businesses that we can hire our own and take care of our own. And if you have money, when you have money, you have a say-so.
Yeah.
You can buy, in fact, Jackie sent me a cover, a resource guide is coming out. And the cover is really amazing. Usually on the front of our resource guide is whoever we're honoring, but we didn't have our event this year. We're going to do it last year. We're going to do it this year. But on the cover, our graphic designer created a man with money, and he's handing it to another individual, and that individual hand, black hand, and that hand is taking the money and putting it in the voting box, and that's the title. Vote with your dollars.
Oh, wow.
That's powerful, right? Because as we were saying before George came on the show, the Democrats, we're Democratic, but they failed us as well.
They did.
And we again didn't step up and put them to work and make them work for us. Yeah. And they work for whoever gives them the money. Mm-hmm. So that's another reason to create successful businesses. And as George says, landowners and business owners are the ones that the tax laws were made for. So don't be afraid to pay taxes.
That's right.
Because if you're making money, then you're the ones, you have some say-so as to what that law says, right?
Exactly what it is.
And that's what's happening in Washington today. And all those people that Donald Trump has put in his cabinet are people who are business owners and landowners, and they have a say-so, whether it's good or bad.
And that's very insightful, because a lot of people, they are not looking at it that way.
Right.
But that's exactly how it is. And we need to recognize that. We need to get to the point where we stop playing victim and start saying, oh, my Lord, poor me.
Right.
And start coming up with strategy. And that's why our campaign that we're working on, Crystal, the 10 small business campaign, where we're bringing 10 businesses together to try bolster them and get them to the point where of sustainability and also allowing them to elevate to the next level will really, really help.
It will really help, because that gives you a voice, that gives you power, money gives you power, and no one can dispute that.
That's right.
Because when you don't have money, you feel weak. Yeah. You feel like a victim. Powerless. You feel like people can walk over you. But when you have money and you've acquired that money through hard work, and you can look in your bank account, or you can look and see that you own the building that your business is in, and no one can tell you to leave it. Or when you vote, you feel powerful because you had some say-so in the legislation of that.
That's right.
Getting on the phone and calling your representatives and making them understand that come November 3rd, if we are not represented in your decisions, you can bet you will not be reelected. We can no longer sit and just let things happen, because Donald Trump is the result of letting things happen.
That's true.
And if any of you are on Facebook or you can't escape it right now, because you turn on the news, you're watching something, you're in the middle of your show, and here come a press conference. I mean, I've taken to watching Netflix and Hulu because there's no commercials.
That's right.
I'd rather pay for that than have to deal with that. I want to hear it on my terms, but I also want my community to be stronger. And as Gilbert said, I want us to stop being the victim.
That's right.
I want us, but it requires, as George said, elbow grease. It requires going to conferences. It requires reading a book about how you become wealthy. It requires increasing your knowledge on financial literacy. It requires coming to workshops that Gilbert and I are hosting. If you don't have time for that, it requires you to pick up a phone and say, Gilbert, can you coach me on how to become a certified business owner?
Yeah.
I want to be part of those 10 businesses that you guys are selecting.
Right.
Crystal, I want you to sit down and help me map out my financial structure and strategy.
Yeah.
Help me, guide me on how to create a business plan. Help both of us and everyone that we know being able to help you create a business that you can leave as a legacy to your children.
Right. And you know what's amazing, Crystal? I'm looking at Mr. Fraser, Dr. Fraser's 4 cornerstone points. Right. The first one is paying your tithe.
Right.
The second one is investments.
Right.
The third is land owning. The fourth is business owning. Right.
Right.
Now, the first one, I think a lot of people may take it out of context because it says paying your tithe. So
Right.
they're thinking, oh, you got to go to church.
Right.
That's not what this is about. Paying your tithe is like paying your taxes.
Yeah.
So you pay your taxes or you pay for a service. You pay for a process so it can help you to elevate to the next level.
Right.
And that's really what that's about, paying
Yes.
your tithe.
Yeah.
So we just need for business owners to understand that. Not because it says pay your tithe, mean like he's telling you, oh, you got to go to church. And when you go to church, you got to do this. Things that you do in life, you got to pay for that service. So whether it's paying your taxes or paying a consultant or paying to have something done without trying to get it for free.
Right. That's that's your tithe.
Exactly.
Because you can take your money to church and the pastor, and this is the real, so I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but this is the real deal right about now. You take your church money, your what you perceive as your tithes to your church, and the pastor is sowing and he's living well, and you're still living in poverty.
Yeah.
So that's when you understand that that particular vehicle that where you're paying your tithes for that particular instance is not working, because paying your tithes is investing back in your commitment to your faith that you're going to prosper from paying your tithes. So if you come home from church after paying your tithes and you can't pay your rent and you can't feed your children and you can't get to work and your car is broke down and you can't provide for your health insurance, then that tithe didn't work for you. So you got to think that process better.
Think it through
and find the vehicle or the place. And if it is a church, that's fine, but make sure that church is taking your tithes and providing job training or financial literacy training or health seminars or legal seminars, and reaching out into the community and creating vehicles so you can increase your wealth or teach you how to create your wealth. That's tithing. Tithing is to invest in the faith of the sight unseen that you know is going to grow you and your family to that next level. Exactly. You are not to be, we should not be begging.
That's right.
And that's where we are. We're begging and pleading and hoping that, oh my God, maybe this Mr. Trump won't look at us and start destroying everything. No, he already said in Chicago, he's talking martial law.
Yeah, he is.
And I did see something today on Facebook. So they've targeted Chicago, and I'm sure there's a retaliatory reason for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I saw that Chicago is on when it looks at the city with the most crime, Chicago is number 10. And the reason they're number 10 is because Chicago has 2.8 million people in their town, and so there's in that area, in that city, and so 2.8 million, and they're saying 300 and something murders or in the last, or maybe 1,000 murders in the last week. Right. Divide that into 2.7 million. And get the percentage of that.
Yeah.
That's when that's math, people. Yeah. The math does not lie. Yeah. So don't just read and let people tell you. Yeah. Do your own research and see how much that makes sense. Comprehend what that makes sense. Yeah. Then contact your representatives and get involved. Yeah. Your church should be involved in making sure your community is safe. if that's where you're going for your knowledge. If you're going there to be fed, they should be feeding everything, teaching you how to fish and not handing you a fish.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's what Jesus did. He taught you how to fish.
Yep.
And it doesn't necessarily always come free. So because remember, it's about commerce, it's about money. So in exchange for one, someone's going to teach you what they've learned, which they had to pay someone to teach them. Now we're just you're passing that on. So that means you too have to invest in your life. It's your life. So it should be very important to you to get the best of the best. And you all know, now the one thing black folks do know, that if you don't spend money for nice shoes and nice clothes and nice food, that the shoes will hurt your feet, the clothes will fall apart. So we do know that. So it's the same thing in intangibles, the service you get. So you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
You get what you pay for. So look at changing the mindset. Read. Forget the television. Forget the reality TV. You can do that once you've gone and read some books on how Robert Johnson became a wealthy man. Even if you're going to take Jay-Z, how did Jay-Z become a wealthy man?
See, he didn't sit back and call himself a victim and say, poor me. Who's going to come help me? He stepped out there. He did what he needed to do. He made sacrifices, and that's really what it is. Look, he just sold 33% shares of his business, what, $500 million?
Right.
$500 million for 33% share in his business. So we can do the same.
You can do the same. You can become, once you grow your business and it's successful and it's serving a solution or creating a need for someone, then you can become a public company. And now we're talking wealth at that point, right? You're leaving legacies for your children. At the same time, moving into nicer homes and cars and whatever it is, and your savings and buying the building that you live in and you live in and your business is in, this is creating wealth. So we really, truly have to change our mindset. It is imperative. We're kind of at the 9th hour of reestablishing. And as we said at the beginning of the conversation, don't let Martin Luther King's efforts be in vain.
Exactly.
Don't let Marcus Garvey's efforts be in vain.
Right.
Don't let even President Obama, don't let that feeling, that euphoria you felt for the last 8 years be in vain.
Right.
And all the other people that have fought for us. We don't need leaders. You are a leader.
Exactly.
And you need to teach your children how to be leaders. Make them proud, because our children are watching now, and it is important. It is vitally important that we teach our children how to fish. And not just be a worker bee, but to go out and when my nephew's on the show a couple weeks ago, go work while you're acquiring your education. That's part of the education process. But be looking at starting your own business, because that is the only way you have control over your destiny.
That is so true. I totally agree.
Totally agree. And there's tons of us that have, not just Gilbert and I, we're special, but we're not like uniquely special, where we have talents and skills and knowledge that no one else has.
Right.
There are others out there that are part of our circle that has that. And we're the first to tell you, there are people right now working hard for you, but we need you guys to rise up, and we need you guys to meet us halfway. And we have the victim. We got to stop being victims, as Gilbert said.
Stop being victims.
We are victors, and that's what we need to be looking at from here on out, is how do we become victors in this next 4 years of what we have to deal with. Because even if they impeach Donald Trump, you still have Mike Pence, and he's probably calculatedly even worse than Donald Trump, because he got a brain. So you still got 4 years of being under the thumb of of the Republican Party. And the next thing is making sure you get out to vote. Read everything about your legislation. Get involved.
Got to get involved. Got to participate.
Got to be involved so you can put the legislation on the ballot.
Yep.
Sign petitions. Create your own petitions. Your children. You're talking about a woman to head up the Department of Education. Oh my God.
Who has no clue about what? Talk about apathy and empathy. She does not have any of that.
She had. Now, what did she say? There was something she said last week that just blew me away when they were asking her about guns in the school, and she says, well, yeah, I guess so-and-so, whatever, in Wyoming, they need that for grizzly bears. Grizzly bears? We don't want that person heading up the schools that our children, the one that makes the final decisions on whether or not your children will go to school and get educated. The dumbing down of America has created what we got today.
They need to call their Democratic representative and say, do not vote for that woman.
I think that is the one person that they're not going to confirm in. The rest of them, they're thinking about it. But I think that one, when she said the grizzly bears, I think that just did it for her.
Crazy.
That's just crazy. So we're here to commit to you guys, and we want your businesses to be successful. Gilbert and I have made, we've designed our businesses in order to support your business and you, and to becoming successful business owners. And so continue to tune in to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. Go to our website and click on to subscribe to our channel. Look at we've had some amazing guests on the show, and they've been so involved.
Walk them through how to subscribe, Crystal, because I think a few people are not clear on how to subscribe.
So you go to our website, which is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and right there on the front page is pictures, or actually they're. Let me pull it up. So the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. And you see right on the front page, you see 5 clips of our shows. And you click on right below that, the big red box that says subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Good. So you just click on that red button and...
Click on that button. And then once you get there, it's going to take you to YouTube.
Exactly.
And then in the corner is a box that's going to pop up, and it's going to say the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and there's a red button again, subscribe. Hit that button and subscribe.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay. And that is how you subscribe to our new YouTube channel. So we got about 5 minutes. Gilbert, anything coming up?
Well, let me see. Next week... Well, I have on Monday, I have the Black Chamber of Commerce in Inland Empire. I'm teaching a workshop on capability statement development for those businesses. And what else? There's something on February 2nd. I just don't remember. Oh, jury duty.
Wait, didn't you just try to get out? Did you get out of that last year?
I tried to get out of it. They would not let me. The judge said that he's going to charge me $1,500 if I didn't go.
So you had to go to jury duty.
I have to go. So on the 2nd, I got to go to jury duty. So I'm not really excited about this. So.
And also, there's plenty of things going on in the month of February. Is Black History Month, everyone. Mm-hmm. And so make sure you're participating in some of the activities and events. There are a lot of activities that are going on. We're going to have some great guests in the month of February as well. That we will be talking about things. Again, it's all centered around business, but it's honoring Black History Month. Maybe we'll do every month, every show in the month, we'll maybe some great business person that's done some amazing things. We will highlight them.
We'll feature them.
We'll feature them both on the show and on our website. So check that out. And I don't have right now. I'm deep into taxes, year-end backup, accounting and bookkeeping. So that's where I am. Make sure you get if you're not using me, make sure you get your 1099s and your W-2s out by January 31st. That's the deadline date.
That's on Tuesday.
That's on Tuesday. And then start pulling together your information for your taxes. Your taxes are due in April, and we want to make sure that we can get you guys certified. So that's one of the criteria, is one of the steps that you have to do. Attend, for those of you that are looking, go out to the Emancipation Tour tomorrow in Carson.
Yep.
Call Barbara Lindsay at 310-498-3783 to get your tickets today. And
one thing I want to put out there, Crystal, we talk today about a lot of different things, about empowering the individual, the business owner, and all of that. There are two types of individuals out there. You're either an employee or a business owner, an employee or an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So you want to figure out which one of those two categories you fit in. Are you an employee? And if you're an employee, then you want to try to do the best you can to be the best employee and try to generate as much resource and achievement as you can. Mm-hmm. If you are an entrepreneur, then you want to make sure that you gravitate towards owning your business, running your business, and trying to do it as successful as possible. Now, we're talking about self-sufficiency and not being a victim. Those are the things that you need as your guiding principle right now. Either you're going to be an employee for someone else, you work for them, work at their mercy, or you're going to work for yourself, be your own boss, and try to be as creative and ingenious as possible to get your product or your services to solve the pain in the marketplace that you've identified.
Right.
Crystal and I are here to guide you. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, we can guide you. If you're an employee, then, you can go ahead and try to select who you want to work for and hopefully be as productive as possible. But that's pretty much what I want to put out there.
Yes. That's pretty much it. And so we're going to sign off for today. It was a fantastic show. And we will see you next Friday, which is February 3rd.
I think so.
Yes, that's the very first Friday in February, Black History Month. Yeah. And we are looking forward to seeing you again next week. So,
and you're on the Business Zone, and we're on every Friday from 3 to 5.
And right, and you can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and go to our website and check it out as well. And we are ready to sign off. Have a great week, everyone.
We're out.